Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? My name is Shanice, and welcome to my channel called Shaniceology. In today's video, I would like to discuss 10 or 11 ways to protect your boundaries with family. So, I'm coming from a lot of ups and downs with my family, and I feel like I'm at a part in my life where I've had to create a lot of strong boundaries with them. And today I'm going to run through a few ways that I protect my boundaries and my peace when it comes to my family, and how you can too. So the first thing is to define my boundaries and to know my limits. So I have certain family members, they feel like they could just like say anything they want. Oh, you're so fat. Oh, why does your face look like that? Why do you have bumps on your face? Like there's just so much criticism about just the smallest things that don't even matter to my livelihood or theirs. But they constantly want to like, oh, you have too much scars on your skin. Oh, you have a big belly. Oh, you need to eat some more. You need to lose some weight. Like it's too much. Sometimes no one needs to hear that. Like what if I'm going through a lot, like just having a baby, and you're telling me I'm overweight? Like how do you think that makes me feel? You know? So they always want to give you unsolicited advice, how to deal with it, how to treat it. What makes you think that I wanted you to say something like that to me in the first place, you know? Um, I'm the type of person, I don't judge people based on how they look. Like, if they want advice and they're complaining about something, then I'm gonna, like, possibly put in my 2 cents. But if the person's not asking you, why are you always have something to say? Your opinion matters every time. So, for me, the unsolicited advice, I've had to really know my limits when it comes to that with a lot of them, because they'll just say whatever they want, and sometimes it's not the most pleasant things to hear. Um, Another way that I deal with this drama is to communicate clearly and assertively. So, things like, oh, I don't feel comfortable with you saying this to me right now. Being assertive and just being straightforward and being like respectful and saying like this doesn't make me feel comfortable when you're preaching to me about how God doesn't love me because I'm drinking Coca-Cola. Like, it's a lot of demeaning types of um, ways that they come at you, and it's a lot to take on. It's a lot for them to just be down your throat and telling you should listen to me, and if you didn't listen to me this wouldn't happen, and all these things. It's like, I get it, you're older, you're wiser, but sometimes people just have to go through their experiences to learn, and that's how they'll become wiser as well, from their experiences. So it's definitely, you need to be direct and respectful when it comes to the boundaries that you've created and communicating it to them. Um, Another thing is learning to say no without feeling guilty. So let's say they say, "Oh, we're coming to visit you." If it's not the right time, let's say you have work to go to, you have plans for your kids, you have plans for other things that you're doing, it's okay to tell them no. Like, this might not work out the right time. We could try to make it work out some other time, or like make an excuse. I don't believe in ghosting people. I don't think that's the best way to communicate with people. But sometimes, if that's your nature, that's the kind of person you are, just act like, oh, well, I fell asleep or something. I'm not condoning lying here, but if you want to protect your peace, you got to do what you got to do. Um, and just know that no is a full sentence. So you shouldn't have to feel like you have to over explain yourself, or make yourself feel less or small because you said no. Like, it's okay to say no, you know? Um, Another one is to limit contact or and control contact. You can control it by, restricting calls, certain messages, like put your phone on do not disturb. Don't let no one call you at all hours of the day and night. You have to kind of set those boundaries because I feel like sometimes um, your family doesn't know those kind of boundaries because they think it's you and they still see you as the 10-year-old little girl that you were, and they don't really have the respect that you're an adult now and you have a life and you have a schedule that you abide by. So if they can't respect your schedule by calling you at 5 in the morning and, you know, not respecting your time and disrespecting you in the process or making you feel small in the process or throwing shade, like sometimes you gotta just lay those boundaries out and don't respond or call back when you have time or something, like you can't allow them to like walk all over you and calling you on video call if you're not looking appropriate for the camera, like certain things like that. You need to kind of limit that. um and another thing too is like when you meet them in person, meet them in public, meet them somewhere public. So you're not going to their house or they're not coming to your house, which makes it easier, because then you can decide how to de-escalate that. And if you're around people, chances are it won't be as dramatic as if you're just like enclosed with them where they can just have their own way. Um, have an exit strategy. If you feel like your family members are toxic and you're just not sure how the the engagement's gonna happen or how things are gonna go, plan an exit strategy because that's just gonna help you feel more stabilized, knowing that you have a plan in your head. Like if this happens, I'm leaving, or if I might not even allow things to get that far, I'll leave like 20 minutes or 25 minutes, or I'll show up early. You know, planning ahead, like plan ahead on how you're gonna come to the event and leave. So like you could come early and leave early. That's my strategy. I like to show up on time or before time, and then I leave when I choose to leave. When people are still in their primes, people are still arriving, that's okay. I have other things to do. I gotta go home, do my thing, get myself ready for bed, and have a good 8 hours of sleep. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anyone to invade that. Um, Definitely practice discernment when it comes to bad conversations or toxic conversations. Like, I hear you. Yes, I get it. Okay, I understand. It's good to like de escalate in that way, but sometimes they take it too far. And my family knows that I'm the kind of person that will turn up, and I don't like to be that way. But yeah, sometimes my advice is to not overreact, but I need to take that advice too sometimes because sometimes it can get real intense. Yeah. Another one is you need to not seek approval from them. Like approval, their approval or not approval or validation or not validation, it doesn't do anything for your life. If you sit there and you wallow over their validation and the ways that they perceived you and how they told you you look and you are and you believe it knowing that that's not who you are, you're going to be like mentally unstable. I promise you. You're going to be like thinking less of yourself. Your self-esteem is not going to be up in where it needs to be. You're not going to feel content or happy with yourself. You always feel like you're not doing good enough as a person. You're not doing good enough as a child and the family. You're not going to feel fulfilled. So this is where it's important to like make your own standards for yourself and validate yourself even when your family doesn't see your value or doesn't see you the way that, you want to be seen. Um, Prioritizing self care. Yeah, that's a big one because sometimes you go through these dramatic instances with your family, and it's like you feel like lost. You don't know what to do. So it's good to like pray, meditate, journal, exercise, drink water, all the things that bring your body back to its rightful mindset and state, because it could really mess with your mind when you're being manipulated in a way that you don't want to be. It can make you feel like you're a fish out of water, and you belong to be in the water. You belong to breathe and thrive and swim and fly and anything that you choose to do and be. And it shouldn't be based on someone else's um, opinion of you. But I feel like we as human beings, we care about the people that we think care about us, and we care about what they have to say about us. So it kind of makes us feel like, oh, am I really as crazy as they're saying I am? Am I really as dramatic as they say I am? No, you're perfectly fine. Nothing is wrong with you. You just have boundaries, and they chose to cross them, and they think it's okay. So um, that's where we need to kind of come back down to ourselves and ground ourselves in our own values, in our own worth, in the things that make us feel more substantial to the world around us. And definitely lean on support systems, like close friends that you trust, support groups, therapy if you're in therapy. All of these things can help bring you back to understanding your self-awareness and validating you in the situations that you go through, and just helping you relate and understand to other people, and people can see things from the outside looking in and can advise you on how to encounter those things, for the next time. So definitely, it's good to help maintain perspective on the things that you go through, and having a support system is definitely a good outlet for that. Um, and definitely enforce your consequences. So like if you're on the phone with someone and they're just doing too much, say if you keep doing too much, I'm gonna hang up this phone, you know? And sometimes they still don't get it. They want to tease you, they want to taunt you, they want to make you feel like you're talking like you don't matter. Your voice doesn't really matter right now. Yeah, they gloat, they make you feel small. And you just gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta say, okay, I gotta go now because I gotta go do something. I gotta figure this out and get off the call, because it would literally drain you to continue to entertain someone that just doesn't see your value, doesn't understand where you're coming from, doesn't want to understand your emotional strength or weakness, and it could create problems. So this drives me to my last point, which is know when to distance yourself and cut contact. So because you're cutting off contact doesn't mean you don't love them anymore. It doesn't mean that you don't want to be their family member, but you also have to trust yourself. And loving yourself doesn't mean sacrificing yourself for them. Yes, a few of them have helped bring you into the world and raised you, and yes, all of that is good and dandy, and we are definitely grateful because God, this is why God has us here, to help one another and to be there, and to raise the new generation. So with me being a mom, like I do my best to prevent the toxicity in my life, and by making boundaries with a lot of my family members, it has helped me grow as a person, be stronger on my own. It helped me um, be able to see things from a wider perspective, be able to understand that love love is such a broad term, but not everyone understands how to use it, how to express it, how to, utilize it for the betterment of society. And I've had to learn this as I go, and I really learned a lot about creating boundaries with my family when I became pregnant, because this is like when I felt the most shunned. I felt the most disowned. I felt the most betrayed. Like I just was going through so much. And I had to quiet out that noise. I had to quiet out the noise to say, like, this is not what I want for my daughter to be seeing me go through every day, every week, every month. Like, I don't want her to see me in distress because of something one of my family members said to me that's not even true about me. So, definitely, it's helped me elevate my mindset, elevate my life in a way that I can't like look back now. I can look back and reconnect here and there, but as far as keeping it a consistent thing, I just feel like some people just don't know better, and at a point, I didn't know better, but because I know better, I do better. And by doing better is creating boundaries where necessary. And I advise everyone watching this to do the same. Definitely create boundaries with the people around you that don't see your worth, that don't see your value, that don't understand your boundaries, that don't want you to thrive or do better than them. This is your life. You can live your life to please yourself and be happy as you do it without the negative mindsets of the people around you. So, with that being said, I thank you so much for watching my video. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next.